You are now in tune to the most intriguing podcast in the universe. Hosted by the scientist Leon Marshall. Are you ready for Marshall's Melanin Podcast?
Listen, I am fully energized.
Class is in session.
You gonna learn today.
I found it really enlightening, like educational as well. There were a lot of things I didn't know, especially with melanin and like all the benefits of melanin. So I found that very interesting.
I love it. There's so much information, you know, it's entertaining and it's just facts after facts after facts.
This is the podcast where science is made simple and learning is fun. Welcome to Marshall's Melanin Podcast. Now, here's your host, the scientist Leon Marshall.
Yo, Marshall.
Yes. Large up, family. My name is Leo Marshall and you're tuned into Marshall's Melanin Podcast. Big up everyone who's joined me tonight. Family, put some ones in the chat. Let me know that you can hear me clearly. Let me see who's in the building. Put some ones in the chat. Let me see if everyone can hear me clearly, please. Yes, family. Thank you, family. Big up everyone that's in the building. Big up everyone that's joining us right now. Big up, big up, big up. We there. Yes. But tonight, we're going to be talking about melanin and vampires. Oh, it's a big one tonight, family. People are going to be like, why are you talking about this science fiction stuff? Why are you talking about vampires? All will be revealed, trust me. And as always, later on, when I open up the forum, you guys can ask your questions, make your comments, or just tell me what's on your melanin mind. I don't mind what you say. Just be a part of tonight's class. Now, I've created this podcast so we can all truly understand melanin once and for all. What it is and how it works. We must change the narrative around melanin if we are ever going to understand it. Changing the narrative means we need to change the language, change the way we talk about and describe melanin scientifically. And that change happens right now. So let's go.
I've been to quite a few and I've heard Leon talk at other events, and as usual you do come away learning something.
Listen, I am fully energized.
That is brilliant. It's just so informative, mind-blowing. It's something that, you know, it's just put me on a journey of knowing thyself. It's just fantastic.
Modern vampires of the city, hunting blood. You coulda come from Rima or you come from jungle. Coulda come from firehouse or you come from Tower Hill. One blood.
Yes.
You coulda come from Libya or you come from America. Coulda come from Europe or you come from.
This is why I love reggae.
One blood.
People back in the day, they used to make these types of tunes, telling us to look out for the vampires. Decades ago, they were telling us about vampires. Now they want your blood. They want your energy. They literally can't survive without you. Understand what I'm saying? So yeah, let's talk about the vampires. Large up, family, large up the people who are all joining now. I can see the numbers slowly rising. Big up. But yeah, man, we're going to talk about the vampires, man. One thing about them. They love your melanin. This is like the vampire anthem, by the way. We're gonna have some fun before we get into it. This tune is like a vampire anthem. Listen to the lyrics.
Yeah, girl, you're something else. You can be bad all by yourself. You don't need no one to hold you.
Vampire anthem.
If they playing games, you don't let them fold you.
Remember the Sinners movie with Remix?
And I'm not trying to get one.
When he's standing outside the juke joint.
Oh, I appreciate it.
And he's just marveling at what's going on inside the juke joint.
When you feel up to your face,
And he gives us that vampire smile.
let me see you drop the road.
The vampires could sing.
Show off your skin tone.
They had swag. They had rhythm. This is what they'd say.
I'm in love with your melanin. Yeah, I'm in love with your melanin. Yeah, I'm in love.
This is their anthem.
Something special about
They're in love with your melanin.
I'm in love with your melanin.
More than you, by the way.
I want you to myself, so I can be there when you need it. Be the last time you felt.
If they could sing, they'd be singing this tune. This would be their anthem, trust me. And large out the people who've seen the movie Sinners and how Remick was smiling outside. This scene is so powerful. When he's just standing outside of the juke joint, and for those of you who have seen the movie, Sammy's just doing his thing inside of the juke joint, conjuring up spirits, conjuring up ancestors and all that. And Remick's just outside marveling, and he just smiles like to say, wait until I get in there. Wait until I get in there. Curtain, yeah? For those who don't know, obviously the Sinners movie had loads of symbolic things in it. Get me? But a lot of people just take it as face value. The vampires trying to get into the juke joint. Nah, you gotta look at it a little bit deeper. The juke joint represents your subconscious mind. The juke joint not only represents your subconscious mind, you could argue the juke joint represents your skin, your melanin. And these vampires want to get in. They want to go through your skin. Yeah? And I'm going to tell you all the ways that they go through your skin now. I'm going to tell you all the ways you let Remick, all the ways you let the vampires in. You understand? Just like in the movie. You let them in and then they cause havoc inside of the juke joint. The juke joint can be your mind. The juke joint can be your culture. The juke joint can be your skin. You understand? We're going to go deep tonight, family. Trust me, trust me, trust me. Yeah? But yeah, big up all the people that have seen the movie. The movie's quite deep. The Sinners movie. It's got the vampires in it. You know, one thing about these people, yeah, they love this culture of, you know, vampirism. And for those the people that have been following me for quite a few years, you know, I always talk about them having this vampire culture. And people will be like, no, vampires don't exist. Well, what is a vampire? Let's break down what a vampire actually is. Yeah? And you guys put it in the chat. Let's describe a vampire. What is a vampire? Well, a vampire is someone who can't take the sun. They literally can't take sunlight. They burn when they're out in the sun. A vampire is someone who probably has to wear sunscreen then. Big up Denise. A vampire is someone who drinks blood. Yeah, they take your blood. Yeah. They drain your life force energy. Right. So the blood represents your life force energy. So a lot of people will be like, there's no such thing as vampires. No one's sucking no one's blood. No, your blood represents your life force energy. So anyone who's draining you of your life force energy, that's like a vampire. Remember, we call them like energy vampires. Yeah. So can't take the sun. They want to drain your life force energy. Yeah. They like the dark. Yes. They like to be in the dark. They like to do things in the dark. They don't want you to see what they're actually doing. All the nefarious things they're up to. Yeah. And they wear shades when they're outside. Now I've described vampires. But you know what happens when a vampire bites you, right? When a vampire bites you, you then become the vampire. You then start acting like or taking on characteristics of the vampire. So think about what I just said. Yeah, can't take the sun. Wears shades when they're outside. They like the dark. In other words, they like to go out at night. Don't that sound like black people? Are black people the new vampires? I know even this last summer, I heard black people complaining about the sun. I heard black people talking about, it's too hot. You know what I mean? And black people talking about, yeah, we need sunscreen. No, we do need sunscreen. No, black people, we get skin cancer as well. We need sunscreen. Vampire, rude boy. You've been bitten. Yeah. Putting on sunscreen, putting on shades. Yeah, when you're outside, which is now a normal thing. I broke that down last week, how this new AI thing is going to be AI glasses, and everyone was like, nah, I'm not doing that. But they made wearing shades the norm. What makes you think they're not going to make AI glasses the norm? I was going to say 2 years. Give it 2 months, see if everyone ain't wearing AI glasses. Shades are not normal, rude boy, and enough black people wear shades when they're out in the sun. This is what the vampires do. This is what the vampires do. They project their culture onto you. So black people, we never used to wear shades. Black people, we never used to cover up when we're outside in the sun. Do you understand? Black people, we used to do sun gazing. Now we can't even look up at the sun without squinting and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's like we're becoming the vampires, but that's what happens when you're around vampires. They bite you and now you become the vampire. Do you understand? Yeah. So I keep on saying they do this, they do that. So I know some people will be like, well, who are they? Who are these vampires that you're talking about? And when people ask me this question, who are they? Yeah, I say the same thing every time. I don't know. I don't know who they are. I can't point to and say, yeah, those people are vampires or name them. But I know they exist because I see their work. I know they exist. So when people say, oh, well, who are they? You keep on saying they. Who are they? I don't know who they are, but I know they exist. Therefore, I have to take precautionary measures to protect myself from them. And people will be like, that's not logical. It sure is. We do this all the time. It's a natural thing to do. How many of us have cars which we lock when we get out the car? You don't keep your car open or unlocked. When you get out your car, you lock your car. When you go inside your yard, you lock your front door. Why? Because you suspect that potentially your car could get burgled. Your yard, if you left your front door unlocked, someone might come in your yard. They might come in your yard. Now, what if someone turned around to you and said, well, who are they? These burglars, who are they? You're going to say the same thing that I just said. I don't know who they are. I don't know who they are, but I'm going to lock my car as a precautionary measure because I know they exist. Burglars do exist. Who are they who might come inside your yard? I don't know who they are, but I'm going to take precautionary measures to protect my yard from them. I don't know who they are, but I'm not going to leave my front door unlocked. That's how you should be with these vampires. We don't know who they are, but because we don't know who they are, you should suspect that you could be around them. And I got that from my spiritual teacher, one of my master teachers, who's joined the ancestors, Neely Fuller Jr. In his book, he says you need to suspect that they're around you, yeah, as a precautionary measure. So you don't call anyone a vampire. You don't be naming names. Do you understand? But you suspect that you could be around them. So you have to take precautionary measures. That's just simple logic to protect yourself from vampires, energy vampires, whoever you're talking about. You need to protect yourself. Yeah. So it makes logical sense for you to do that and to suspect people of being a vampire. So I don't know who they are. Obviously, in the movie Sinners, they made it clear who the vampires are, but that's not how they operate in society. Like someone said in the chat, they like the dark. They like to do things in the dark. They don't really like to show you who they are. But again, if you go by Neely Fuller Jr.'s words, you should suspect that whoever you're talking to could be. Yeah. So again, I don't know who they are, but I suspect that some people could be. For example, I'm sure we all know who these people are. And both of them have passed away now. Both of them have passed away now. However, when they were both alive, I could suspect that they could be vampires. And my suspicion is quite based on logic and evidence, because the person on the right, the queen, yeah, remember, vampires like to take your energy, take your stuff. She's renowned for just raping the world, taking stuff from Africa, taking stuff from the Caribbean. It's like they can't rely on their own energy. Do you understand? And let's not talk about Prince Philip. Oh my gosh. He looks like a vampire, for crying out loud. Look at this. On the left is a movie, show on the BBC called Dracula. And on the right is Prince Philip. Again, I'm not saying he is, but I suspect that he could be. I suspect that he could be. And I'm not going to talk bad on the dead. I know he passed away. Does anyone know when he passed away? Actually, does anyone know how old he was when he passed away? Does anyone know that? Does anyone know how old Prince Philip was when he passed away? Because this guy looked like the dead when he was alive. He looked dead when he was alive. Vampires, rude boy. Does anyone know? How old was Prince Philip when he passed away? Does anyone know? What? 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 99 years old. 99 years old. Yeah? You don't think this guy was sucking blood, taking stem cells, taking melanin? How the hell are you still alive at 98, 99 years old, rude boy? And you look like death. Listen, 99. And D'Angelo passed away at 51. D'Angelo passed away at 51, and this guy lives until 99 years old. Nah, vampire. That's a vampire. I'm sorry. Vampire. Yeah? And what else makes me suspect that he could be a vampire? Well, the things that he used to say when he was alive. Let's not forget the things that he used to say when he was alive.
What do you see as the biggest challenges in conservation?
The growing human population. Because if where we are, there's nothing else.
And do you have views about what should be done about that?
Can't you guess?
Well, it could be on a spectrum from mass sterilisation to you know, greater availability of contraception. I don't know what your views are as to what can be done about it.
Well, I think it might be described as voluntary family limitation.
Voluntary family limitation. And notice the laugh that he made when she was like, "Oh, mass sterilization." He was like, "No. We've done that already in Africa. We've done that. Mass sterilization. We've done that." And what was the other thing that she said? Oh yeah, increasing the contraception, mass sharing of contraceptive practice, whether it's contraceptive pills or condoms and that sort of stuff. And he was like, no, we do that anyway. Yeah, I remember growing up and the NHS were like to teenagers, come get your condoms, come to us, come get your condoms, man. Free condoms. We're giving away free condoms. Come to us. I never forget that. So yeah, he's like, no, we do that stuff already. Yeah. And let's not forget what he said just before he died. Well, actually, this was decades before he died. But he said, in the event that I am reincarnated, I would like to return as a deadly virus to contribute something to solving overpopulation. He said, bring me back as a virus, fam, so I can kill off some people. Bring me back as a virus. These people, bro, I love when they're truthful. I love when they're honest. It just reveals everything, yeah? Man said, bring me back as a deadly virus. And when you start to understand these vampires and how sick in the head they are, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. I literally wouldn't be surprised. So I think he died in 2020. if I'm not mistaken, or 2021, 2020 or 2021. I wouldn't be surprised if these sickos made his ashes or made his body into ashes and then put it in the COVID-19 vaccine. So literally, you're getting injected with Prince Philip's DNA. Do you understand? Because these people, they're sick in their head. I wouldn't be surprised if his DNA was in the COVID-19 vaccine. Let's make sure we honor him by doing what he asked. He wanted to come back as a deadly virus. He wanted to come back and solve the overpopulation crisis. Let's make sure we do that for him. You know what I mean? We got to start putting two and two together, family. Trust me. So yeah, everyone who took the vaccine, again, think about the movie Sinners. Anything that pierces your skin, that's like you allowing the vampires in. Anything that pierces your skin is like Remick being outside of the juke joint, asking to come in, and you're like, yeah, come in. Psst, pierce your skin. Now all of a sudden, the vampires are inside. Yeah. And again, I like when they're totally honest. I love it when they're totally honest. Yeah. This is from the Metro. The NHS, this says NHS is out for your blood. What does that sound like? That sounds like a vampire to me. NHS is out for your blood. Listen to the way they worded it. NHS is out for your blood. And oh my gosh, are they ever? Every single year, and you guys who follow me, you know I say this all the time. Every year, without fail, the NHS beg black people for blood. Notice they don't beg anyone else for blood. It's always black people. Black people, we need your blood. Black people, we need your blood. Black people, donate your blood. Black people, black people, black people. My gosh. You'd think they care about us, yeah? So this is from NHS blood donation. And it says, we urgently, they love using that word. We urgently need people who have recovered from COVID-19 to donate their blood plasma. Who have recovered. Now, put in the chat, why do you think why didn't they just say we urgently need people to donate blood plasma? Why do you think they said specifically who have recovered from COVID-19? Why do you think that's important for blood donation? Anyone in the chat, why do you think that's important? It's a bit scientific, the answer. Because, all right, no one's putting an answer. All right, because if you've recovered from COVID-19, you have the antibodies. What do they call them? Is it antibodies? There you go. Yeah. You have the antibodies. So your blood is a little bit stronger than everyone else's. Yeah, you have the antibodies that protects you. And what they do with that, they're not using that to put into someone else and help someone else. They're using that to study. Okay, this is the blood that survived from COVID-19. We need to study this blood because how come it survived? It wasn't supposed to survive. So let's start doing some experiments on this blood that survived. And let's start doing experiments and finding out how strong these antibodies are and doing scientific experiments on these antibodies. Let's see how we can get past this thing. Yeah. These people don't play when it comes to scientific experiments. Trust me upon that. And if you had your eyes open, truly had your eyes open during the pandemic, who remembers when they were coming out with adverts like this? Who remembers during 2020 when this happened?
From spring 2020, the law around organ donation in England is changing. Unless you choose to opt out or in an excluded group, all adults will be considered as a possible organ donor when they die, to allow more people to save more lives. To find out more or to opt out, visit organdonation.nhs.uk. Pass it on.
Interesting. So they made it an opt-out system. In other words, you're just automatically an organ donor. So if you die and you don't quote unquote opt out, you're automatically an organ donor. Why do you think they done that? They done that to make it easier for the vampires to take your cells, tissues, and organs. They just made it easier for themselves. Let's just make it an opt-out system. And even if people opt out, they're going to give us their details. So it's a win-win situation. Boom. So now, if you die, you're already on the organ donation list. If you die, they're just taking your organs. Remember, they used to steal our organs. Everyone should know about Henrietta Lacks. Everyone should know her story. Yeah, the black woman who died in 1951 from, according to them, cervical cancer. And whilst she was dying, they stole her cells, specifically her cancer cells, did scientific research on it, and realized that her cells were not only replicating, but her cells weren't dying. So she died in 1951. Her cells were replicating and stayed alive. And they were like, wait a minute, what's happening with these cells? They started to use their cells as they do, you know what I mean, for scientific experiments. And then Tutu's her cells became the main reason why they had all the medical advances. Any medical scientific advancement since 1951 is due to this black woman, Henrietta Lacks. So they used to do this behind closed doors. They used to teeth our cells, teeth our tissues, teeth our organs. Now they're like, oh man, that's too much work. Let's just make it blatant. All right, you guys, you're all organ donors. Boom. So we can take your organs. We don't even need to do it like we're stealing now. We're not even stealing. We're just gonna take your organs. Yeah. And to this day, a lot of us still don't know her story. Henrietta Lacks, very powerful story. Yeah. And once you start to understand this organ donation thing, yeah, it'll make you think about the Get Out movie. You know what I mean? Wow, they're trying to take our soul. But that's what vampires do. Your life force energy. They literally want to take your blood, but not just your blood, your cells, your tissues, your organs, your stem cells, all of that sort of stuff. It's a madness. And for those of you who think, nah, Leon, you're chatting rubbish, man. You're going a bit too far. This is conspiracy theory stuff. This is why I love when they tell the truth. And some of you have already seen this video because I've shared it on my podcast before. This is a billionaire called Peter Nygaard. Yeah. Listen to what he said about how he takes black women's DNA, stem cells, eggs, and all that sort of stuff. Listen carefully.
Peter and I are investing in it's called SCNT, which takes the egg of a young, perfect woman specimen, takes the egg and takes out the nucleus and puts our DNA in the nucleus. They just go in and take it out.
It's painful, right?
Huh?
Is it painful? We use this.
Yeah, and this is part of this genetic greatness that we don't see in any other race on the planet. These curvy, sexy black women from Africa. You girls have a kind of a monopoly on this genetic perfection.
You girls have a monopoly on this genetic perfection. Listen to what the vampire's saying. Listen carefully.
You girls have a kind of a monopoly on this genetic perfection. And we want some of that.
Vampire.
So, girls, for $100, we will pay you for your egg.
No, you $100, monkey.
So how much do you want for it? Let's bid. I bid $500 for you. Whatever I bid, he's gonna outbid me. I bought about $60,000 worth of eggs. Yeah.
He said, I bought about $60,000 worth of eggs. And the guy was like, yeah.
Whatever I bid, he's gonna outbid me. I bought about $60,000 worth of eggs. Yeah. If you have abortion, that's very valuable.
Oh, it's a bit muffled, but if you hear what he said, the abortion, when you guys have abortions, oh, that's very valuable. An abortion is very valuable.
I bought about $60,000 worth of eggs. Yeah. If you have abortion, that's very valuable. Umbilical cord, and placenta, even your period blood is so rich with stem cells.
Did you guys catch that? He said your period blood is so rich with stem cells. Your period blood. Yeah? You don't think these vampires listen, when you go to the hospital, and I'm saying a black person, but specifically a black woman, they are like, cha-ching, oh my gosh. It doesn't matter why you're there. The fact that you're there, it's like, oh my gosh. It's like the vampires don't need to search you. You just come to them.
When you regard it as waste, then it actually should be. It should be captured as recycled. And it should go to waste. It's life for somebody else. And it's life for mankind.
Free the language. It's life for somebody else. It's life for mankind. Your blood is life for mankind. Your cells, tissues, and organs are life for somebody else. Do you understand? This is why I love when they're just open and honest. Because if I'm saying stuff, people will be like, no, Leon's talking about vampires and all this science fiction stuff. No, this is how they carry on. This is how they carry on. Yeah. And here's another one. This is from a podcast. This guy on the left, he's into stem cells and all that sort of stuff. He actually works with Tony. Who's that other billionaire? Tony, is it Tony? What's his name? The motivational speaker, Tony Robbins. Thank you. Tony Robbins. That's it. Tony Robbins. So this guy on the left, he works with Tony Robbins. They have a company where they research stem cells and they do all these scientific experiments on stem cells. Listen to what he says. Listen.
And so one of my business partners, my co-founder of Human Longevity, and my partner in founding Cellularity, Bob Hariri, Bob's an MD PhD and Navy fighter pilot, one of the rock stars in the stem cell world, has actually done the work to show if you take, in this case he did the work in mice, you take the placentas of that mice, you convert it to dosages of stem cells that you then give to that mouse at the end of its life, like in this case, typically a 26-month-old mouse, you will extend that mouse life another 30 to 40%.
Whoa.
Right? You'll add another year almost onto it. And that's been repeated in a number of different ways. There's a whole thing called the young blood experiments being done at Stanford. And right now the experiments are going on in humans as well, that if, it's sort of like sort of Dracula and the vampire, but if you take the blood of a young individual and transfuse it, or the plasma, not the cellular portion, into an old...
He kind of says it like it's a joke, but that's exactly what they do. Listen again. He's like, Dracula, kind of like, no, not kind of like, that's what vampires do, fam. Listen again.
Stanford. And right now the experiments are going on in humans as well, that if, it's sort of like sort of Dracula and the vampire, but if you take the blood of a young individual and transfuse it, or the plasma, not the cellular portion, into an older person, you will get a lot of return to youthful state. And in reality, it turns out that there are a number of stem cell clinics outside the United States. And I happen to know a number of 80-something-year-old billionaires who go and don't get young blood infusion, but get stem cell infusions.
Why not young blood?
Well, it turns out that the stem cells actually generate the growth factors and all the chemical milieu that is in the plasma, and they live for 100 days.
Now, is it stem cells from themselves?
No, it's stem cells from newborns.
Really?
It's the stem cells from the placentas or the cord blood.
Stem cells from newborns. Stem cells from newborns.
Newborns.
Really?
It's the stem cells from the placentas or the cord blood that are typically thrown away.
That is utterly fascinating. I could do an entire show just picking your brain about that.
Utterly fascinating. It's so fascinating the way you guys just, steal stem cells, steal tissues, steal organs. It's so fascinating. So listen, you gotta listen. When they speak, you gotta listen. So he says it's like Dracula vampire, what we're doing. Blatantly. Yeah, that's your culture. Your culture is vampirism. Yeah. And then he's saying they get stem cells from newborns. You know what I mean? Obviously, placenta and all that sort of stuff.
And so
you need to know that. And this is from Sky News. Young blood, an elixir that prevents age-related diseases, study reveals. So they've known this for a long time. They've been doing this for a long time, understanding the power of your blood and literally taking your blood and living off of your blood, especially if you're a young person. They take your blood and it's like an elixir. It kind of brings older people or, people who are kind of ailing from something. It kind of brings them back to life. So they've been doing this. And what I love about it is, if you got your eyes open, they'll tell you. It's not like this is hidden. Look, I just showed you one from Sky News and another one from the BBC. Super rich are injecting blood from teenagers to gain immortality. That is vampirism. That is vampirism, fam. Can't tell me that's nothing but vampirism. Yeah? You can't just grow old gracefully. Nah. When I get old, let me just get some blood off of a young person and live forever. Let me live forever. Let me get some young people blood. It don't even have to be young people blood. That's stillborn. Let's get the stillborn's blood. Oh, you just had an abortion. Let's get that abortion. Let's get that. Oh, rich with stem cells. Let's get all of that. That is vampirism, rude boy. And if you don't believe me, again, listen to them. This book, and I bought this book over 10 years ago. Yeah. This book reveals everything. When I say this book is deep, this book is deep, this book is deep. It's a big book. I still haven't finished reading it. It's deep, but it reads like a horror movie, yeah? But this author, Richard Sugg, who's actually a university lecturer, I think he works at the University of Cardiff or the University of Durham, something like that, yeah? UK university lecturer wrote this book a couple of decades ago, yeah? And he's just, basically the book is just revealing how white people, he calls them Europeans in the book, but he's blatantly talking about white people, how white people used to eat mummies, so take them out of the tombs and eat them. They used to take them out of the tombs, and because they realized, you know, these are the pharaohs, these were the kings, they wanted to know why they were so great. When they took them out of the tombs and they started to do experiments on these mummies, I'm talking about ancient Egypt, Kemet, they started to realize that these mummies were full of melanin. So then they were like, okay, what is it about this melanin thing that makes them so great? So again, through their experiments, and again, this is all in this brother's book, you know, through their experiments, they used to eat the mummies. They used to crush the skulls of the mummies and make them into powders and use that as medicine. The skulls were crushed and made into powders and used as medicine. The powder was used for headaches. The powders were used for any head injuries. Yeah, they used to do this during the Greek time as well, where they'd have the gladiators fight, and then whichever gladiator lost, they'd be killed. And as soon as they were killed, they'd drink the gladiator's blood, because their reasoning was these gladiators, their blood is going to be strong because they're so courageous. A courageous person's blood is better than a coward's blood. So these people would watch them fight to the death, yeah? And as soon as the person died, whoever died, there'd be like a blood drinking party. I kid you not, back in the medieval times, they'd have blood drinking parties, yeah? This guy revealed literally, I'd say this book is like a white history book. Yeah, this is their history. You know, right now it's Black History Month. Obviously, they don't have a White History Month, but if they did, this would be the main book they'd be reading from, because this is their history. This is what they used to do. And even coming up to present time, well, I'd argue they haven't changed, but even during slavery, they used to do experiments on the slaves. And for those of you who know about Nat Turner, you know what they did to Nat Turner. When they captured him, they kind of removed his skin from his body and done all sorts of experiments and ate his skin and burnt him and all that sort of stuff. Let me just show you, because the book goes in, yeah? And basically what he says is the medical industry, what they do now in the medical industry is all based off of this history. So the medicines that are in the medical industry is all based off of this history. Their history is, we were their medicine. Melanin was their medicine. So crushing skulls, making liquid balms out of our skin and that. Listen, you wouldn't believe the amount of stuff that they've done, but this brother breaks it down with evidence and receipts as well. And this is him. This is him. This is Richard Sugg, yeah? And just listen to his words. Listen to what he says. And yes, I know he does kind of look like a vampire, but bless him, he does tell the truth. You get me? So again, I don't know. You could suspect he could be, I don't know, but I love the fact that he tells the truth. But listen to Richard Sugg.
Good afternoon and welcome back to The Strange World of Mummies, Cannibals and Vampires, book I first published in 2011 and is finally coming out in a much more affordable form. Kindle should be up this Saturday and the paperback a little while later. Been reading today on BBC about the mummies of the Canary Islands, Guanche mummies, mystified people for a long time. Where had these people on the Canary Islands come from? Well, for a long time we didn't know, but what we did know was where they went. In the form of mummies, they went back to Europe to be eaten for medicine by kings, queens, priests, aristocrats, and were prescribed by the most elite doctors and scientists of the age being around 1500 to around 1750.
So 1500 to around 1750, he was saying that the doctors used to prescribe this. This is what the doctors actually prescribe. Listen again.
But what we did know was where they went. In the form of mummies, they went back to Europe to be eaten for medicine by kings, queens, priests, aristocrats, and were prescribed by the most elite doctors and scientists of the age being around 1500 to around 1750. So where did they come from? Well, recent DNA tests of the mummies have...
All right, listen to this part. So he's saying, where did the mummies come from? Where did the mummies come from? Yeah, he's going to break down the ethnicity of the mummies. Listen.
From, well, recent DNA tests of the mummies have implied that, in fact, after a lot of theories through the Vikings and the Celts and more, they came from North Africa. Berber people who may have settled in the Canaries around 100 AD. So we have another strange fragment in the dirty history of Europe. The Africans, often slurred with myths of savagery and cannibalism, turn out to be the ones that were getting eaten by the civilized Europeans. Welcome to real history. It's often dirty, it's always strange, and I do hope you'll enjoy it when it comes around this weekend. Thanks for listening.
Okay, I love what he said at the end. So he said, you know, the Africans who were usually smeared, remember, their propaganda, their cartoons, their movies, they used to make it seem like Africans were cannibals. Africans were eating people. Where, according to his research, he was like, no, it was actually the civilized, quote unquote, Europeans who were eating the Africans. And he says, again, according to his research, this is a university lecturer, according to his research, when they done experiments on the mummies to find out, you know, the ethnicity of the mummies, where did they come from? He said a lot of them came from North Africa. And if you know your history, you know, he's talking about like Moors. The Moors, or that's how they were referred to back then, because people like to confuse the Moors thing, say they're Muslims. No, they were Christian Moors as well. So, and Moor is a descriptive term. Moor literally just meant black. So what he's saying is that obviously the mummies were black and they were coming from all parts of Africa, but he says some of the mummies that they were eating were from North Africa, the Moors, yeah? And in his book, he actually breaks down what they used to do with the corpses, yeah? So listen to this. This is just an excerpt from his book. It says, alchemizing the corpse, the laboratory of the soul. When I say this book is deep, this book is deep, this book is deep. I'm not going to read all of that, but just look at the bottom if you guys can see it. It says, take, for example, the formula given in a 1611 history of Ethiopia. Again, if you know your history, Ethiopia they used to call the whole of Africa Ethiopia. So the history of Ethiopia. Listen to their formula. It says they take a captive Moor of the best complexion. And after long dieting and medicining of him, cut off his head in his sleep and gashing his body full of wounds, put therein all of the best spices, and then wrap him up in hay, before being covered with a cerecloth, after which they bury him in a moist place, covering the body with earth. 5 days being passed, they take him up again and remove the cerecloth and hay, hang him up in the sun, whereby the body resolveth and droppeth a substance like pure balm. So they're hanging him up in the sun, and then Tutu's skin is melting melanin, or the skin is just producing this balm, which liquor is of the pure, the great price. The fragrant scent is such, while it hangeth in the sun. This is what they used to do. This is what they used to do, yeah? And I say used to. Someone tell me in the chat, when do you think they stopped this practice? When did they stop? When did they stop? Do you reckon they stopped during slavery?
White people were eating their slaves. In honor of Black History Month, let's talk about history that doesn't make headlines, mainly because we got idiots like this trying to whitewash history.
In 1800, President John Adams took up residence in what was then called the Executive Mansion. It was only later on they named it the White House. Slaves that worked there were well fed and had decent lodgings provided by the government.
One of the most famous cases of this is Nat Turner, a man who led one of the largest slave rebellions of his time. Turner was eventually caught, and he was flayed, and they used his skin to make a coin purse, while his bones were divided out as trophies to be passed down as heirlooms. And lastly, what was left of him was turned into grease. Slavers at the time described Black people as seasoned, as all food should be. And more seasoned potentially meant more money when selling them at auctions. Slavery in its entirety was cannibalistic. They cannibalized their lives, their souls, and yes, even their bodies. My goal for this knowledge is to be used as a tool or a weapon to fight back against these narratives. The narratives that they were well fed, had a roof over their head, or they didn't have it that bad. Because you will always have people like Bill O'Reilly in this clip that are trying to whitewash history.
There you go. So that's why I love when they tell the truth. This is white history we're talking about. This is what they used to do. You know what I mean? Obviously, not all of them do it. Again, when I say vampires, I'm not talking quote unquote all white people. It's not all white people who are vampires. But this is your culture. This is white people's culture. This is your ancestors' culture. This is your history. This is what you guys did. White Europeans used to eat Black people, fam. They used to. And until white people start admitting that themselves, we're never going to know the truth. This is your history. This is not Leo Marshall saying this. I've shown you a book written by a white British scholar, and now this white guy saying what really happened during slavery. Do you understand? It just reminds me of this movie. Who remembers Hannibal Lecter? Remember this?
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
One thing about these people, you gotta understand, even when they don't tell you the truth, they will reveal the truth in their movies, in TV shows, in adverts. They can't help. You can't help but reveal yourself through your work. Yeah? You can't help but reveal yourself through your work. So when they put out TV shows, movies, adverts, you guys can kind of see who you're dealing with. So yeah, this is their culture. They're showing you who they are. Yeah, kind of mummies, cannibals, and vampires. This is why, family, you gotta understand. You as a Black woman, when you go into the hospital, oh my gosh, they are just, they're just like, oh, wow, we've got another one. Yeah. And when we think about it, I keep on saying this is their culture. Again, not all white people, you can't say all these days, not all white people, but a lot of white people, this is their culture. And if I was to ask you, what is white culture? What would you say? Right? What is white culture if it's not vampire culture? What is white culture?
Is white culture.
White what? Culture? I don't even know. I don't know if there is a white culture.
What is white culture?
Well, that might go back to white privilege then, if you're looking deeper. But white culture?
People say, like, when people are defending Black culture, and they go, oh, what about white culture? But white culture is nothing. We have Irish pride, and we have Italian pride, and Black culture is made up because African culture was lost. Ooh.
Oh gosh.
What is white culture?
Oh wait, white culture is taking everybody else's stuff.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
white culture. That's white culture.
You see? Once they hit the nail on the head, they were like, yeah, okay, yeah, white culture is taking everyone else's stuff. That is vampirism. When you take everyone else's stuff, that is a vampire culture. Stealing people's land, stealing people's country, stealing people's organs, blood, tissues, stem cells. That is a vampire culture, fam. And when they do this, they don't just do that. What they do is project their culture onto us. So they're the vampires, but guess what? They will project their vampirism onto us to the point where they make it seem like we are the vampires. So I started this podcast by saying it's like black people are the new vampires. Black people are going around saying, talking about the sun and talking about sunscreen and talking about seek shade and talking about we need to put on sunscreen as black people and and not liking going out during the day, rather go out at night, go raving, all these things, wear shades during the day, wear shades at night. You sound like a vampire, fam. But that's because they've projected their culture onto us, because we were never like that. We were sun gazers, sun worshippers. We love the sun. Now all of a sudden we want to go out when it's dark and not when it's light. Yeah, that's projection. They project their culture onto us. And whilst they're projecting their culture onto us, they're out there doing what we should be doing. Yeah, I go, especially during the summertime and all that, but even during the wintertime, I will go to the park and jog or go to the park and exercise early in the morning. Guess who I see when I'm out in the park exercising early in the morning? Guess who I see jogging early in the morning with their top off, in with the shortest of shorts? Do you get me? Whether the sun's out there or not. Them. It's like they project their culture onto us and then they take our culture. So check this out. I love this image because this is what they're doing all over the world, by the way. Do you know how many vampires are in Africa, like South Africa, and set up shop, like they live out there? Do you get me? Live out in the sun, enjoying Africa. Do you know how many vampires are in Jamaica, fam? Live out in Jamaica, enjoy Jamaica. There's Jamaicans that don't enjoy Jamaica. These people love Jamaica. You go, the last retreat that I did in Jamaica was last July, and I was in the quote unquote wealthy areas. Oh my gosh, these people live good on our land. These people live great on our land. Do you understand? They project their culture onto us and then take our culture. Can you imagine? They project their culture onto us. So we start acting like them. They start acting like us. They're out there absorbing sun. You get me? They're out there juicing. They're out there sun gazing. You know what I mean? Doing all the things that we should be doing. But that is how they carry on. And when you become them, remember, when they bite you, you then become the vampire. And the easy way to know if someone's been bit as a black person is, do they sound like them? In other words, do they sound like the mouthpiece of them? Yeah? You heard it a lot during COVID, where black people were like, yeah, black people, you need to take the vaccine. Black people, you're becoming their mouthpiece. Do you understand? But they do this all the time. And especially if a black person gets into like a high status, you know, like a Barack Obama or an African president, they will literally tell you what to say. You become their mouthpiece. Look.
I ask you to be citizens.
I ask you to be citizens.
Citizens, not spectators.
Citizens, not spectators.
Citizens, not subjects.
Citizens, not subjects.
Responsible citizens, building communities of service and a nation of character.
Responsible citizens, building your communities and our nation.
You see that? They literally become our mouthpiece, yeah? Or we become their mouthpiece when you're bitten, yeah? But like I say, they project their culture onto us and then they take our culture. And again, we're talking about vampirism, but this is another example of vampirism, yeah? Where they literally take your identity. Literally take your identity. So they're not even just taking your life force energy. Now they want to take your identity. Do you understand? Yeah. Check this out. You know, BBLs are all the rage now. So a lot of white people, European people, they want the aesthetics of a black woman. So they want to get the big bum and all that sort of stuff, yeah? The BBLs are now all the rage. But do you know that you can get these pads? And you can probably get them from Amazon, and you don't have to go and have surgery, but you can get these pads. Check out this chick, yeah? She bought some of these pads. But I just want you to listen to the language. Listen to what she says, yeah, when she puts on these pads. Listen carefully, family.
I got me a BBL off Amazon, and you know, just for shits and giggies, like just for shits and gigs or whatever. It's looking like an egg. It's very much vacuum packed and sealed, so we're gonna open her up. She is from China, beautiful, gorgeous, foreign, exotic, thick queen. Okay, so, okay, so it comes with two little pads, little pooty pads, and then it comes with some shorts. So we're gonna try her on. Hold on. I found you, Miss New Booty. Get it together, bring it back to me. What the? God knew I would just be way too powerful. What the hell is that?
God knew I'd just be way too powerful. Listen.
I found you, Miss New Booty. Get it together, bring it back to me. What the? God knew I would just be way too powerful. What the hell is that? What the? You're freaking kidding me. I would just be too powerful. I would just be. What? No, shut the fuck up. Are you out here freaking looking like a shelf?
Looking like a shelf, it's not even that big. This is the thing, they get gassed, yeah, if they look anything like you, black woman. Yeah, it's not even you can't even call it a BBL. It's not even big like, and she's like, what? Oh my, what?
Oh man. If God would have built me like this, it just would have been too much. It just would have been too much. What the? Look like a donkey ass. Looking like a donkey ass. I can knock people out with this thing, okay? What the hell? I would be way more obnoxious than I am now if I had all of this, okay? So God just knew what he was. Shut the fuck up. Shut up! I just wouldn't know how to act. I simply would.
There's literally nothing there, fam. There's nothing there. She's going mad, yeah? There's literally not, man them, please. Man them in the comments. Tell me something, man. There's nothing there, rude boy. She's going mad. And there's nothing there.
Shut up!
Look.
What the hell? I simply would not know how to act, okay? And I fully believe that my creator knew what he was doing. He had to humble my ass somehow, because I simply would not be a good person if I had this, okay? And I'm returning it immediately because this is toxic.
There's literally nothing. Look, there's nothing there, fam. But this is the thing with the vampires, yeah? Just being normal is a come up for them. That's normal. That's beyond, like, that's underneath normal for a black woman, yeah? But for them, oh my gosh, that's the best thing. And I'm using this as an example, but I could use anything. You see, when a white person has rhythm, oh my gosh, so gassed. And I hate when black people get so gassed when white people have rhythm. You're supposed to have rhythm, rude boy. You're supposed to. That you're supposed to be able to catch a beat and dance. You're supposed to be able to have rhythm, rude boy. But a white person has rhythm, everyone gets gassed, yeah? A white chick's got a little bit of an ass, and now she's gassed. You're supposed to, yeah? It's actually abnormal for you as a woman to not have shape. You're supposed to have shape, yeah? But this is the thing, when you're a vampire, when you, as soon as you get something that a black person would consider normal, it's, oh my gosh, what? Oh my gosh, if God made me this way, I'd be too powerful. Who do you think she's referring to? Too powerful for who? Too powerful for who? Who do you think she's referring to? Do you understand? These vampires, boy. And speaking of vampires, let's just go through some of these vampires that you guys should know. So yeah, Kim Kardashian, she's one of the main ones that done the BBL. So this is the before and after. Again, trying to look like you, black woman. Boom, boom. And look how successful these people become when they take on your persona. Again, this is vampirism. They're taking on your identity, and look what happens when they take on your identity. Kim Kardashian is one of the most famous women in the world. Yeah, this is her sister. Not to be outdone. This is her sister. Yeah. Again, these people couldn't care less how they were born. They're gonna make sure they take on your identity. Do you understand? Not to be outdone. The young sister, Kylie. Yeah, she was like, "Hey, you guys ain't leaving me with all of this pale skin and flatness, these flat cakes. Nah, mate, I'm joining. I'm joining you guys. You get me? And does everyone know who this is? This is what's her name? Iggy Azalea. She's a rapper. Yeah, a rapper. Look how she used to look. Look how she used to look. Look how she looks now. And again, she got very, very successful once she changed up herself. Because no one messing with her when she was looking like how she looked on the left. No one was messing with her. But as soon as she switched it up, you know what I mean? Took on your identity, Tutu's career took off. And speaking of career taking off, Madonna didn't need to do it, but Madonna done it as well. And you can always tell when it's fake because it all folds up when you're moving and all that. So Madonna's got her one done. And look what happens talking about my lady talking about, I'd be too powerful. If God bless me with this, I'd be too powerful. What she's saying is, I'll be attracting a lot more melanin. A lot more melanated men would be attracted to me. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Madonna. Ain't Madonna dating some young Jamaican? I swear down, ain't Madonna, her boyfriend is some 21-year-old Jamaican. I saw a clip of her out in Jamaica. I swear she was doing a dirty wine or something. She was doing something out in Jamaica with her BBL. You get me? So this is it. This is what they do. This is what they love. Yes, this is a white woman. So when they get your skin, yeah, when they get your skin, they're like, you get me? When they get your lips, they're like, when they get your bum, they're like, when you as a black woman, when you're pregnant and you go into their hospitals, they're like, and someone actually mentioned it in the chat. Someone put two and two together. They were like, is this the reason why black women are more likely to die from childbirth and all that sort of stuff? Mm-hmm. You understand? Black women, anytime you're in the hospital, for anything, they're like, black men, when you go get tested for prostate cancer and they bend you over and put two fingers up your bum, because that's how they test for prostate cancer. They shouldn't be doing it that way, but a lot of doctors still do it that way. When you go and get your test for prostate cancer, they're like, when you then decide to get treatment, because they've forced you to get treatment, oh my gosh, you've got prostate cancer, you need treatment. Treatment, one of the treatments is they take out your prostate, yeah, and leave you incontinence, which means you literally have to have a nappy, can't control your pee, and impotent, erectile dysfunction. You can't ever have sex again. When you then go and have treatment for prostate cancer, they're like, listen, anyway, let me stop, man. Let me open up the forum, get you guys to comment. By all means, if you want to say something, raise your hand. I'll get you to go live, or you can put your questions in the Q&A. Yeah, questions in the Q&A. And I know it's a lot for some people. I know. So, and big up my brother Power of Consent in the building. He's actually got a Sinners movie breakdown coming up. So he's gonna go through. I'm gonna let him just talk about his Sinners movie, because that Sinners movie kind of reveals everything as well, man. If you've only watched that Sinners movie once, make sure you watch it again, because that is powerful. That Sinners movie. If you really want to understand how vampires carry on, you gotta watch that Sinners movie and yeah, watch the breakdown. So Power of Consent, he just put the link for the event, which is this Thursday, family. So if you can make it, come down this Thursday. And brother, if you just want to share a couple things about the Sinners movie, by the way, family, if you've got questions or comments, raise your hand and you can go live. Let me just bring in my brother, Power of Consent. Unmute your mic, bro.
Yeah, bro. I'm cracking up over here. That sound effect. Oh my God, everyone! Hey, listen, everyone, salute Leon right now, man, for that awesome breakdown and teaching, brother. And you know what, bro? What you said regarding when they used to consume us, and still do, during shackle slavery. There's a book called The Delicacy of the Negro, how they used to speak. It's a journal how they spoke about eating and consuming Black people.
Yeah.
And also, people need to understand the origin of English nursery rhymes. You see, what Leon, what you were saying, brother, is so on point. Jack and the Beanstalk, think about it. Fee, five, fo, fum.
Yes, brother. Are you still there? I just made you.
Oh, got you, brother.
Just made you a panelist, bro.
Thank you, my brother. So it's like Hansel and Gretel, it's all about consuming children. All of these old nursery rhymes, Little Red Riding Hood. Listen, man, the proof is in the pudding, literally. Things like black pudding pie for Christmas, that's about the consumption of blood. Dried blood turns hard, and they called it black pudding pie. This is the origin of black pudding pie, is dry blood, dry pig's blood, dried animal's blood. And by the way, it connects in with Halloween. It connects in with Halloween as well. So yeah, we got our event going on this Thursday. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna
family, if you're free, get your tickets to this event. This is a Sinners Breakdown happening this Thursday, family.
That's right. That's right. And by the way, Sinners is a movie that is the highest grossing original movie since 2010. A lot of people didn't get this film. They didn't understand what this film was really saying. The messages behind the movie, the actual color codes, why twins? You know, where does that come from? Why is it that the movie was released digitally in the zodiac season of Gemini? You know, what does that have to do with having twins? The sister, the hoodoo sister, root work, you know, why she wore blue. You know, everything about this film, even the guitar, which was made in 1932, the same year that the movie's based in, 1932, Clarksdale, Mississippi. Why? You're speaking about MELANIN, bro. You see this scene here, the juke joint scene? Did anyone notice that the interior design of the juke joint, which was designed by the good sister Hannah Bleacher, who also was a set designer on Black Panther Wakanda Forever, did you notice that it is actually a hexagon? It's an hexagon.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah. And the hexagon family is based upon the planet Saturn. Saturn is the 6th day of the week, which is where you get the name Saturday. Now, Saturday is the night they celebrate in the juke joint. And hexagon, what is the actual symbol of MELANIN?
666 carbon.
And it's a hexagon.
Yep.
And if you look at this part of the juke joint, the camera goes 360. It's called a continuous shot in film world. And you find that the camera rised up until the roof became on fire. So what does that mean? Your MELANIN, the juke joint. We are the juke joint. Your body is the juke joint, family.
That's right.
And it's the vibration that is going to elevate us out of the 6 carbon level. Yeah, the physical carnal level. And you see them celebrating, but the vibration uplifts them. So that's what we're going to break down in at Sinners next week, Thursday.
A Black History Month entertainment special at Mars Bar Lounge, Thursday, the 30th of October, 2025, from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. at just £10 entry. A night hosted by singer Adelaide McKenzie, where an evening of culture, creativity, and connection awaits you at Mars Bar and Lounge this Black History Month. On the night, spoken word and poetry performances, powerful voices sharing truth, rhythm, and story, live entertainment to uplift and inspire, a movie breakdown presentation of Sinners, Black History Month special, decoding cinema through the lens of Black history and culture, networking,
And real quick, if you see that part with the film, now you'll notice that there's a cross and the juke joint behind them. Now, who was the dude who owned the juke joint when the brothers Elijah and Elias Moore went to purchase it? Can anyone tell me the name? The name of the man was called Hogwood. Hogwood. Now, do you remember a book called 1984, George Orwell? No, not George. Yeah, George Orwell, Animal Farm. Animal Farm was about the revolt of the animals. It's a symbolic meaning, and they had to take over the farm. It was the pig that was the leader of that revolution and became the tyrant. Hogwood. There's a lot of references to wood in this film. The snake in the film, which they discover in the back of the car, is called a timber wood snake. And then we got further things about Hollywood, touch wood. The movie starts off with wood carvings on a tree, which represents ancestry and DNA. And many of our people are afraid of sacred ancestry. We're afraid of all of these things. And again, we're going to break it down. But the sister here, the hoodoo woman, the conjurer, she was wearing what is called hate blue. Why hate blue? Because on the porchway of most of our brothers and sisters in America, they'll paint the ceiling and the porch blue. Why? Because it would attract and keep away mosquitoes. You see, blue is the color to protect against evil. And that's why when you go to places like Africa and the Caribbean, you carry a mosquito racket. What color comes up? It's blue. Because blue is the color to destroy mosquitoes. And then we're going to, and conjuring is a negative word today to us because Hollywood, there's that word again, use conjuring and exorcist and all these other terms to turn us away from ancient mystical worship of the ancestors that are in ourselves, the most high supreme God. So they turn it into a horror film. And that's why Ryan Coogler so cleverly made this into a horror film, because he's telling us what we see as evil is not in fact evil, but what is good is evil to the opposite, if that makes sense. So the conjuring, we go into the definition of conjuring. And why is it that the Wu-Tang Clan, RZA, he had a moment where he had to conjure the ancestors within him through music in order to create what is called the Wu-Tang Clan. Here's another thing as well, family. What were they called? Wu-Tang Clan what? Wu-Tang Killer Bees. Why bees? Bees go in a honeycomb. What is the shape of a honeycomb? They're hexagon. You can see the brother sitting there, RZA. Yeah? Conjuring through frequency, conjuring through vibration. You and I are our ancestors, family. So they make the term conjuring into a negative thing. And by the way, this scene was the inspiration to Ryan Coogler to put in this scene of the film, which is the actual 360 dimension, 360 degrees of knowledge tapping in to our ancestors. So family,
get your tickets, family. It's going to be big. Get your tickets.
Go ahead, brother Leon.
I was saying, get your tickets, family. It's going to be a big one. Get your tickets.
It's going to be a big one. We're going there. We're going there. Yeah, we got to read, man. We got to read. Yeah, because at the end of the day, we've been tricked into believing that ancestral worship is devil worship when it's not devil worship. Yeah, and we're going to touch in on a little bit of Malcolm X, and more importantly, who controls, what controls our perspective. And I'm ending off on this. Media is the most powerful entity on the earth. They have the power to make the innocent look guilty and to make the guilty look innocent. And that's power because they control the mind of the masses. So family, get your tickets. We're going to go deep into Sinners. We're going to have some edutainment on the night as well. And this is the first of series of many breakdowns we're going to do. The next one we're going to do is Matrix. We're going to break down the Matrix, brother.
Wow. Looking forward to that. Thank you for that, my bro.
Thank you.
Family,
big up yourself, bro.
Large up, King. Family, get your tickets. That's going to be big. That's going to be big. But yeah, You see, when it comes onto this stuff, if you really want to know how they carry on, if you really want to know white history, you know what I mean? So they they always kind of say that we don't know our history, you get me? And that's because of them. But if you really want to know their history, you need this book, family. Mummies, Cannibals, and Vampires, because this just blatantly tells you everything you need to know with how they used to carry on back in the day, all the stuff that they kind of hid and they don't want us to know up until today. You know what I mean? And this ain't just America's, this ain't just, you know, what they were doing in Africa. He's talking about UK kings as well. The UK kings. He goes in, he says what the kings were doing over here with regards to corpses, corpse medicine, black people, slaves from Caribbean, all that sort of stuff. Do you get me? There was a story that came out quite recently about how certain universities still have the skulls of Caribbean slaves. Did anyone see that? That came out, I think, the beginning of this year or late last year. I think it was this year. There was a story that came out about certain universities still holding the skulls of Caribbean people. They hold them as souvenirs. Yeah, they drink wine out of the skulls. You guys do your research on what I'm saying. Yeah, they still do this stuff. So it's mad. It goes deep. So, but yeah, this is like their Bible when it comes on to how they deal with us and how they carry on with their cannibalistic way and their vampiric way. It's crazy, yeah? But we've got some events coming up, family. We're going to finish up now. Again, large up to the people who came to the Black Women's Health event. We're doing it again. Black Men's Health is coming up soon. And we are actually sorting out a different venue. It's not going to be at the University of Westminster. So we're going to sort that out. We will sort that out this week, family. So I know a lot of people keep on asking me, where's the venue? Where's the venue? Don't worry, we're going to sort out the venue this week. Just make sure you're in our WhatsApp group. If admin can just put the link to the WhatsApp group. They've just put the link to Men's Health, the Men's Health event. So get your tickets for that. And then if you're not a member of our WhatsApp group, make sure you're a member of our WhatsApp group to keep up to date with everything that we're doing with regards to our events, with regards to our webinars, everything that we're doing, yeah? We've got another massive event coming up. Well, we've got quite a few events coming up next year, but the one that I can tell you guys about now is this one, the hidden science of black hair. Family, this is going to be huge. Saturday the 4th of April 2026, we're going to be in Birmingham at the Legacy Centre of Excellence, which is a black-owned venue. We are going in, family. This is going to be huge. Big up the people who came last time. Who remembers when we done the hidden science of black hair during the pandemic, yeah? And we did it at the Legacy Centre. I think it was 2021. And remember, they were still telling people, you know, don't go out, social distance, we was like, nah, let's put on a huge event. We had a huge event in Birmingham. Damn near over 500 people came to that event. And this one, there's going to be more, yeah? So, large up the people who came to that one. Big up Serena, I know you were there. Large up, sis. Yeah, big up all the people that came to that one. This one's going to be even bigger and better, family. Mark my words. So, get your tickets. The tickets, if admin can post the link again. The tickets go on sale tomorrow, family. Early bird tickets, they're only £10. Early bird tickets go on sale tomorrow. And we've actually put on the Eventbrite tickets for coaches as well. Because for those of you who came last time we did it in 2021, we had coaches from London, Victoria that took you up to the event and then took you home again after the event as well. So we're going to have coaches tickets on there as well. Tickets go on sale tomorrow, family. Make sure you get your early bird tickets. I don't want to hear no complaints. £10 early bird tickets. Get your tickets early for this one. It's going to be an absolute madness. Absolute amazing event. Now, we've got another event coming up next year, family, and I can't even mention it yet. You see, next week, to be fair, if you're in any of my WhatsApp groups, you'll know before next week's session. You'll know before next week's podcast. But next week, I'm going to announce the big one. We've got a huge event happening next year, and next week is when I'll officially announce it. But I may even announce it in the week in my WhatsApp group. So if you're a member of the WhatsApp groups, you're going to find out about this huge event. What's this huge event he's talking about? What's this huge? Wait until you see it. Wait. Mad thing. So yeah, large up everyone. And you know, we do this Wellness is Wealth weekly webinar where we talk about all aspects of wellness, health, wealth, finance, all that sort of stuff, all under one roof. Each week we have a special guest. This week, this Wednesday, our special guest is Power of Consent. So yeah, this week we're gonna have Power of Consent as the special guest, breaking down some very powerful information. So make sure you join that. If the admin can post the link to that. Big up all the people that have signed up to that. All good, yeah. And large up all the people who have bought my book or keep on buying my book. Man, it's so humbling that, you know, everywhere I go, people want my book, buy my book, want me to sign it, that sort of stuff. It's all love. And this is the information that I feel like we need, man, because no one's going to tell us this information. No one's telling us the true science of melanin. No one's telling us what they used to do. Again, these people back in ancient Egypt times, you know, or from ancient Egypt, they were like, wow, these mummies are full of melanin. Let's eat it. These mummies are full of melanin. Let's eat the mummies. I mean, what sort of mindset do you have to say that you found something that you believe is valuable? You found something that you believe is valuable, and because you believe it's you believe it's valuable, you come to the conclusion that you're going to eat it. Wow, this mummy, this must be valuable, man. This mummy's full of melanin. What should we do with it? Let's just chop it up and eat it. Let's make the skull into a powder and make that into a medicine and give it to the kings and queens in the UK. Like, what sort of mindset do you have to have? You understand? But yeah, large up people, big up. We're gonna finish up now. If you are on Instagram, by all means follow me at Leo Marshall Online. If you're on Instagram, at Leo Marshall Online. If this is your first time at the podcast, we do this every week, family. Powerful information every week. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. You get me? We're gonna keep on doing this, and this is the information that we truly need to empower ourselves. So I hope to see everyone back here next week. Same time, same place, same powerful information. Enjoy the rest of your week, family. 1.